So Grave of the Fireflies, probably the most famous Isao Takahata film, a film that has often been called a film that you have to see at least once in your lifetime, due to its unique take on war, showcasing the horrors of war and what it does to people. For many, if you ask them what is the greatest scene in Grave of the Fireflies, maybe they will say when Seita and Setsuko have fireflies in their home and their heart, or when Setsuko says, "Why do fireflies have to die so soon?" Which already shows the main symbolism Isao Takahata is aiming for. But that's not all. Well, for me, these moments, while genius in their own right, are not the greatest in the film. For me, the scene that is the greatest in the film is revealed to me much later on. Something else Takahata was trying to present, though of course with subtlety. There were many moments in the film that Takahata used for this theme, but as I didn't notice it until that very moment is why for me that was the greatest achievement of Grave of the Fireflies. And it's also something I have never seen talked about when people mention Grave of the Fireflies. The scene is actually towards the end of the movie, and as after I noticed that, I noticed many other moments that came previously, so we will talk about this in chronological order. The film starts when a town in Japan is about to be bombed, and Seita and Setsuko and their mother are preparing to flee. Now at the start of the film, it's easy to predict that this is an anti-war film, completely based on showcasing the tragedy of war, but Takahata doesn't take that one-dimensional approach. He takes a different one. After the destruction and bombing, he inserts a simple scene of a random character yelling with pride, "Long live the Emperor." With all the death that is around him, to encourage people, he yells with all his might, "Long live the Emperor." Now after this, I guess it's easy to predict what the theme of this film that this video is going to tackle is: Japanese nationalism and its role in the atrocities that engulf Japan. Now before anyone dislikes this video or leaves this video, this is just going to be me pinpointing those moments and what they did for the film, for the narrative. So don't expect my views on Japanese nationalism or World War II or anything. This is just me pointing out something that I haven't seen many people praise about this film. So getting back to the moment, with that scene, Takahata establishes what the town feels about this war, but he doesn't stop there. There are countless mentions of Japanese society's views on this war, whether it be from Seita's school, the school that he went to earlier, or how Seita's aunt kept pushing him to do something for the nation through war, to build a strong body so that he can become a Japanese soldier, or even how Seita is seen reading a military-centric magazine or book in the film. All of this is done by Takahata with subtlety, hidden underneath the tragedy that is happening on the front. Takahata also doesn't shy away from showcasing Seita's views on people who suffer in this war, as is clear from his reaction to the decayed body at the beach. It's also shown through Setsuko when she touches a firefly and appreciates its beauty, and it immediately disgusts her when the firefly dies. It reeks of smell, just as that decayed body did. It's no surprise that fireflies have been used as a symbol for people in this movie. And it's not that Takahata doesn't present the other side, the other perspective. He does when the kamikaze are mentioned. They are immediately compared to the fireflies, a way to showcase to the audience what the kamikaze were. And as fireflies dying is tragic and decay and not beautiful, the same is said about the kamikaze. Takahata, by comparing kamikaze to the fireflies, makes it clear what he thinks of these suicide attacks that kamikaze pilots did in the World War II. That he doesn't consider it glory, but tragic and not beautiful in any sense. So Takahata gives his opinion and also manages to show Japan's society at the time of war. But the moment that I mentioned at the start of this video, that is both the greatest and most underrated moment of the series, is when it's revealed to Seita that Japan has lost the war. His first reaction is it of worry for his father, or of disbelief. How could the great Japanese empire lose? How could the great empire of Nippon lose? The society that's culturally superior to the world, as Japanese believed it, how could they lose, let alone on such embarrassing terms? It's not that Seita doesn't show worry for his father. He does, right after this moment. Even earlier in the film, he wonders about how his father is doing. But even that moment is preceded by his admiration for Japan's military and Japanese nationalism and patriotism. And even in this scene, the first impulse shows us two things. One, Seita, he doesn't believe Japan can lose, propaganda and all. And the other thing that it shows us is that even after all that Seita has endured in this film, his views on this war still haven't changed. It's something that goes unnoticed when I see people talk about Grave of the Fireflies. Unlike other war movies that make the characters realize that war is wrong, or the film right from the start explores characters that are neutral or against war, Takahata takes a different angle. He tells a story of kids of a Japanese soldier and suddenly shows us their views on war that their country is part of and is suffering because of. It's a truly genius moment, and it was this moment that made me notice all the previous ones. I mean, I did notice them, but this moment connected the theme to not just random characters, but with our two protagonists.